Well, hello everybody out there in YouTube land. This is amateur artist Mark D. Chandler once again from Man Land, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Ozark Trails 7-person TP tent. Is this tent worth its income and money? Around 50 bucks at Walmart. Well, we're about to take a look. This right here is a show and tell, a first type of review, and totally untested. Before we get started, I'd like to explain that this tent is not fully deployed in its current state. It was placed out here in our graveled area, so we couldn't actually drive all the tent stakes down properly. At each corner of the tent we have 6 tie-down points at the base of the tent, and in conjunction with that, the sides of the tent that actually pull out are what they call guy lines. Also, there's 6 of those directly above the actual tie-down points. That helps to fully expand this tent to reach its maximum size. Looking at the front of the tent here, this is the door of the Ozark Trails 7-person teepee tent. To the camera's left, you do have an electrical access port. Once the tent is fully extended, you do have an 11 by 8 by 11 by 8 surface area, and the tent has 4 of these screened in window access ports for ventilation. There's 2 on one side. The back side opposite the door, please excuse the improvised bug net, we're going to show that later. There's 3 and there's 4. One other thing that I wanted to show you here, and it's not necessarily a negative, but it's about their deployment system for the guy wires for your tent, is they have this right here, this plastic piece of material, that they actually do have a picture of it, but it's not really in detail. And it took me a while to figure out exactly how this thing was supposed to be oriented to make it work properly. This is to slide up and down to put tension on your lines. When I deployed this tent originally, I didn't actually have it figured out until about an hour ago. The end of the line here actually has a tied off knot, and that's there for a reason. This string is supposed to be expanded all the way out. Ouch, rope burn. The loop now goes into the stake, and at this point you can leave it in this position, pull the string all the way out if you want to, but here they got it designed to where you take it and pull it to make it taut, if I can get it to slide. Making it a lot tauter. Taunter? Taunt? Who knows? At the top of the teepee tent you have 3 ventilation holes that are also protected by a makeshift type of rain fly covering each of the vents. They are meshed for ventilation to prevent the bugs and stuff from coming in, and somewhat protected by the rain. Once the tent is fully deployed and you have the poles in the proper position, you have a 7 by 8 head clearance. That's 7 foot 8 inches. Plenty of room for someone like me, 6'2" and 1/4. If you'll notice, the windows, even though protected by a bug screen, there is no flap to cover this on the outside. It's on the inside of the tent, and this is the closed position. Looking at the window from the inside in its closed position, the lovely Wee Wee of Wee Wee's World is going to demonstrate how you actually place this in the open position. Take it away, Wee Wee. She unzips both sides, rolls it toward the window, and places it inside the pocket there at the window, and that's how you properly store your window in the open position. There's a set of poles that come with this tent, and they are not center poles. They actually fit to the side, and they are conjointed with a rubber bungee type of deal that allows it to go together a lot easier. And it goes up toward the top and then back down this side, which my camera stand is going to be in the way. There's convenient sewn in pocket storage areas that's very, very nice inside this tent, and there are approximately 3. I say approximately because you have 2 of that size, which I'm not sure the sizes. There's one on the opposite window, and then you have a smaller size there. And to give you an idea, here's my hand for reference. The tent door is in the closed position now. It has a zippered open with flaps to cover. This is the negative part. You got to step in the tent to finish opening the door. And at this point, you will want to roll your door to attach it to a toggle that they have on the side. There's 2. But you'll notice there's no bug screen. That's a negative. Very much a negative. An awful lot of space inside. It's very, very spacious. If you're a claustrophobic type of person, I don't believe you're going to have a problem with this particular tent. Here are the problems that we see with the Ozark Trails 7-person TP tent. There are 2 things. One, we've already shown and demonstrated that there is no bug screen on the front door. Ozark Trails, if you're listening to this video, you need to improve that. Remember, this is an outdoors tent. Why do you have it on the windows but not the doorway? Very important that we have that, because we are in the great outdoors. But point number 2 is that even according to Ozark Trails, sewn into the cover inside, the label says that this tent is not waterproof. It is water repellent, they say. But they go further by saying do not touch the inside of the tent because you may actually cause a leaking contact point there. And that's usually generally from most tents because of the condensation that may build up inside. But if it's raining on the outside, you can have a problem with leakage. And as a matter of fact, they do state that. So it's important that if you have the time and the extra money, go ahead and seam seal it and waterproof it to the best of your ability with some type of Scotch Guard. Here's a window with it sealed up, and there's still a potential that there may be some rain once it comes through the bug mesh, hitting that piece of material inside in the closed position. Going to run down and try to come out here at the bottom. But in the sides of the pockets, there's a potential for it to gather and allow it to leak in the corners. I'll have to show you that on the inside. We're now inside the tent with it in the open position to show you what it still would look like. Let's pull this out, this corner. If this were sealed up, zipped up from the outside, you can see that there's a pocket here where water can collect. As the rain comes through, it's going to collect here at the bottom. Now in theory it should run straight out, but this tent is not really seam sealed, it's not really sealed of any kind with a water repellent type of material, and that's what's one of my greatest concerns. And that's pretty much the review as we see it thus far. We're going to be testing this thing out here in the next week, or not this particular weekend but the next weekend, and we do expect some rain there at the Morton State Park, which is known as Roosevelt State Park, Morton, Mississippi, for our VU number 4, the Rendezvous 4. That's when all the YouTubians get together that like camping and bushcrafting. We'd like to see you there. And Kind of as a size comparison, I'm now going to step inside the tent, even with my boots on, which I don't like to do, to give you a little comparison in size. Can't exactly get through the door without ducking, but once I'm in, I can jump up and down. Let's try the lay down mode. Still got plenty of room. I can do angels in here easily. What do you call that? 10 angels? With a big belly. Oh, somebody give me a cheeseburger.